Hey guys, in this episode we're going to go over me building this little lathe riser. I got started on it a bit before I start recording, so I'd already built the frame of it, which is pretty simple, just bits of two welded together, drilled some holes with some hole saws, and then machined some nuts just to fit into the holes. Then once they sat in there without pushing through, I just T-weld them up. So I found a neat little thing with my bandsaw. When cutting round stock, rather than try and just push it through straight, I would never ever get a straight cut. If I start the cut off and then twist it and have it like roll into the blade just by holding it gently, I get a really good straight cut. Just thought I'd show you guys after cutting those on the bandsaw and doing the little spinning technique. The cut's pretty good, really. It's quite amazing how well it works. More than good enough for roughing it and not wasting loads in a cut that's going sideways. But interesting little idea. So I also cut up some pieces of threaded rod, a 7/8 fine, and these are going to be the adjuster parts for the feet. So here I'm just turning the ends down so that all three of the pieces are the same size. I've been playing around recently with the power crossfeed, facing things off. It's quite a good little bit of fun. I haven't really used it before and it's kind of scary, but yeah, here goes. So we've got 640 to make this little bit on the end. Here I'm just turning the adjusters so that they will fit into the feet. I'm just turning the ends down a bit and making a groove so that the E-clip will have something to accept into. Now I'm going to center drill and then drill out a larger hole to accept a 3/8 bolt. The idea of this is I'm going to cut the bolts down and clean them, and then I'll be able to weld the bolt heads onto the threaded adjusters so I'll have something to be able to turn them with. I wish I could do it on a milling machine, but I don't have one yet. I'm just using the lathe here to clean the paint off the underside of the bolts, so when I actually get a TIG weld on, the paint won't get upset and interfere with the weld. So here we go with the feet. Just got to turn them to the original one I made, drill out the center and put a taper on it, and yeah, make 3 of them. So here I am center drilling the foot, then I will progressively up the size of the drill until I get to a 3/4, and the adjustable part was machined to about 740 thou, so it gives a nice bit that it can move a little bit to the contour of the floor. go over this little Milwaukee porta band. The more I use it, the more I really love it. Built the little table for it with a little switch on the side, so you can turn it on and off easy. There's a little light under it. It's just really quite versatile. You can pull it off. I ended up cutting the tubing. All this tubing I cut with it, which went through it like butter. It's just a great little saw, I think, and it's pretty rugged. Just thought I'd give a little shout out as well to Everett's workshop. He gave me a bunch of stickers that he'd been collecting from all the other guys on YouTube. A lot of the guys I already watch, a couple that I'm now watching. Yeah, I don't have any stickers yet, but it's quite good fun. Also, just thought I'd show that this is just a nut that was turned down slightly and a hole was drilled in to the tube. So it just sits in on the edges of the nut, which I'll show you. It just sits on the edge of it, and then it was welded on so it won't turn. I didn't get any footage of building this, but it's just some tubing that was welded together. I just cut it with my bandsaw, lined it up on the welding table and just welded it together. I drilled out these holes for where the nuts just sit recessed into it. I just drilled them out with a hole saw. Alright, well, here it all is, almost finished up. I've got to sort out some attachments for these little E-clips so that they can be held on so these don't fall off when I flip it over. I need to paint it, obviously. Probably going to try and match it to the lathe so it's like a sort of green paint. And then lift the lathe up, put it on top. And then going to have to mark out the holes in the bottom of the lathe, so I'll have to drill some holes in and tap them so that I can bolt the lathe to this. And then also there's adjustment bolts that can go into the lathe so you can tweak it and try and get it as running straight as possible. But yeah, there you go. This will be part one, and hopefully there'll be a part two where it's all installed, finished, done, and you can see how it looks. Anyway, thanks for coming, and join us again for more mucking around in the garage.